about Invincible. What's going on with this background? We are talking about Daredevil. Hi, thanks for clicking on our faces. Today, as I just mentioned, we were talking about Daredevil, but we're talking about episode 4. Now, we're going to discuss the whole show. So if you have yet to see the show, leave us a like and come back once you do, because we talk about full spoilers on this episode here. We talk about the whole shebang, right? But before I go any further, I have to introduce my co-host here. We have the great Grand Slam Pooba. How's it going? How's it going?
I'm quite well. There was such a mishap earlier. I'm usually doing the show by headphones,
Okay.
and this is the result when you
Oh, wow.
sit on your headset, not looking when you sit. So look where you sit.
Crap. You've been doing squats like Mark from Invincible. You broke your headset.
Wishes.
Oh, well, before we get into the episode proper, we like to begin with a little bit of geek news. So, a couple things that were announced this week. We have Stephen King's Cujo being adapted for Netflix. Now, this is an old A movie, guys. Old A movie from an old A book from Stephen King. So here's a little bit about it from the Hollywood Reporter and Deadline. So we have Hollywood Reporter confirms a scoop from Jeff Snyder this week, reporting that Oscar-nominated filmmaker Darren, can't pronounce that last name, but if you're looking, you can read it. And he directed Black Swan, which I know about. Requiem for a Dream, haven't heard of that one, but I have heard of The Well. And is in talks to direct Stephen King's Cujo for Netflix. And a little bit about the original movie. The novel, originally published in 1981, was first turned into a 1983 thriller starring Dee Wallace as a mother desperate to protect her son from a formerly friendly 200-pound Saint Bernard. So you can read through it, pause to read. But I always wonder, why is Saint Bernard? Aren't they like super friendly and like goofy? And like, what was the point of getting the Saint Bernard to be the scariest,
I don't know. Maybe it was to throw people off, like how you're saying they're usually friendly dogs. Maybe to make you go like, I think about like if you watch like there was this old cartoon or whatever. Anyway, they had some with Garfield and he killed somebody. And you
Garfield.
Garfield the cat. There's this tale is like 9 tales of Garfield. And anyway, I just learned about this on YouTube and everything like that. But yeah, it's such a thing. So when you say that, I'm just saying it throws you off like, wow, I could not see this creature doing that.
Okay.
I'm gonna send you that thing though, because you seem rather like, wait, Garfield the cat?
Garfield, the lasagna eating Garfield?
Maybe someone ate the lasagna and he said I had enough of this.
I guess. But I haven't seen the original Cujo. But I'll check it out. I'll check out this thing on Netflix. Why not? Hey, Charmaine, thanks for being here.
I think there was some cast of UPRE. They must have. I feel like they reviewed it because I remember that picture of the dog, and I'm not familiar with this by any means, but I remember thinking like, wow, I definitely would not want that dog in my house.
They're really adorable.
Well, I'm at that particular dog. I hear you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But now let's get on to a little bit of actor news. Now this is, and I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your honest opinion here, because I'm going to give mine. We have Wonder Woman, aka Gal Gadot, receives star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. We have a quote from her: "I'm just a girl from a town in Israel." Gal Gadot said to cheers from the crowd, "I could never imagine such a moment. I never dreamed of becoming an actress and never knew that these things are possible." So, congratulations to her for receiving her Hollywood star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Now, let's get a little messy, because for me, I'm like, how did this happen? She did Wonder Woman, okay. She did, what else? She's about to do Sleeping Beauty. She did a couple movies on Netflix, I want to say.
Yeah. The only thing you think about is, like I said, Wonder Woman and Fast and the Furious. She did a few of those movies. But everything else, I'm not familiar with her work at all.
But when you think of great and good actresses, does Gal Gadot come to mind? Like,
I can't say it does. I mean, like I said, I'm only very familiar with very little bit of her work.
Okay.
I just I didn't say congrats. I mean, but I think there's other people who have done more, and you
Okay.
could probably sit here and say like, well, maybe they should have got called first, but still, nonetheless, congrats to that. I just learned that she was in Snow White, this new
Yeah.
one. I didn't know she.
Congrats to her. Congrats to her not taking anything from her. But I had to look into it because I'm like, ain't no way they just giving these stars away. Because why would they respectfully, why would she get a star? I honestly don't feel like her acting is strong enough to kind of uh warrant this
Mhm.
kind of accolade. But then I looked into it, and apparently you have to purchase your own star. So it's like you receive a star, but it's because you kind of purchase into it. And there's been like, behind the scenes discussions of, getting it. So I'm like, now that I know that, that makes sense. Now I can see why she got a star. But, congratulations to her.
Mhm.
She is our Wonder Woman, the only Wonder Woman that I think there were discussions on if she will be in James Gunn's DC universe. I'm not sure.
I think she should still be there. I think she did a fantastic job flushing that character out and bringing it out. So I think underneath James Gunn, I think that there's a sense of direction with her. So I would keep her personally as Wonder Woman.
See, I would say only reason I would say don't keep her is because he hadn't kept anyone else. It's like if he changed, he's going to get a new
Superman,
Batman.
yeah,
He already has a new Superman.
right.
Aquaman is completely gone. Why keep Wonder Woman? Right? It seems
Mm,
odd. She would be the same.
yeah, no, and I hear that. I mean, like, I didn't really hate Ben Affleck's. I mean, I kind of lost respect for him in that. What was that? Justice League movie when Superman just tossed him to the side like trash. I mean, he said, "Oh yeah, no, that's terrible." But no, I totally hear what you're saying though. Like, if you got rid of that old regime, why would you keep her? So yeah, I get that. I can totally understand that.
All right. Well, we are about to get into the episode
But I
proper.
have some geek news.
Well, feel free, go right ahead.
Well, it's going to be real quick, but today they have released the crossover for DC and the Sonic the Hedgehogs in the comics. Episode, the first issue is out, so you should go get it. And if you really, really love me, you should just buy it from me. Thank you.
Yeah, he's accepting fan mail.
Mhm.
He'll drop his PO box at the end of the video.
Absolutely.
Interesting. Snuck in that Sonic news, but let's get into the episode proper. So again, full disclosure, this is a spoiler episode, so we're talking about details of the show, and we're getting right into it. It opens up in the morgue. We got Hector's niece, aka White Tiger's niece.
Mhm.
She's talking to Matt Murdock, and she put two and two together, saying, "Hey, I know they, got my uncle off. Doesn't take too, you don't have to be too smart to put it together." And the police did it. She knows that the police did it, and she's upset at the injustice of it all. She's saying he's just Hector from the Bronx. And I'm sorry, Hector from the Heights, and no one's going to do anything about it. And Matt Murdock, he couldn't say much, right? He couldn't say he is the one who revealed his identity. So it's kind
Ooh.
of like, yeah, it's kind of on his hands a little bit. We
Mhm.
flash over to our girl BB. She's in the club with Daniel and another girl. And Daniel is being very loose at the lips. And I'm still very curious as to how these two actually met, Daniel and BB. Like, did they meet at the club before? Like, how are they like hanging out all the time now?
Maybe they would flush that out later on, but I don't think it was ever revealed.
Ah, okay. This is it's a start.
It
Okay.
wasn't to start like a legit hitter.
Yeah. But I'm like, how are they hanging out? But yeah, she's ended up, I guess he feels the need to like impress these girls in some way because he lets it slip that, oh yeah, we're working on, me and Fisk are working on, bringing these recycling jobs to the city. And BB is a journalist, so she's drinking, but she's thinking, and she's
She was working them.
yes.
She was totally working them. I don't think she was really all that drunk. I think she was like making it look that way and have it fooled and make Daniel go like, "Oh, she's not gonna remember this anymore."
So yeah, apparently there's no off the record when it comes to our girl BB. She gonna tell your
Oh,
business.
I wouldn't tell her nothing.
Right, you can't tell BB nothing. That's the moral of today's story. But they do end up leaving the club, And right across the street, we have this gentleman. He's getting in trouble, getting arrested for stealing some, like, popcorn, caramel pops, whatever they're called. And he gets arrested. He's apparently he's done this before, right? Um, we also see our girl Heather. Heather is counseling Fisk and Vanessa, right? And this is when we get a little more information about Vanessa's entanglement with a young man, or a man named Adam. She's saying how she kind of started to talk to him because he was an artist and the things he would create. And we know from several seasons ago that Vanessa is an art collector. She works at she used to work at like a gala, so she's really into art. And pretty much during the scene, Fisk admitted to confronting Adam verbally about his woman. What did you think about this scene?
Oh, that Visk is. Visk. I'm sorry. I fused Visk and Vic together. I'm sorry about that, Vic. I love it because it's so Fisk. I confront him, and obviously left out the part about we'll get to that later. But like, I digged it. I thought it was cool. It was fine.
I thought it was very telling that one, she felt so comfortable to talk about this Adam, in this setting. To me, it seems that says to me that she's still trying to work on her marriage. Y'all said she didn't love Fisk. I said that she did. I feel like she does love Fisk. But it's a lot. It's a lot to get over here. And it was so awkward, this scene, that Heather had to pull Vanessa aside, like, hey, are you safe? Is there anything, are you safe in this marriage? And of course, Vanessa is a day one, B. She's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good with my man, right?
Good enough to get an entanglement, but yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we flash back over to this gentleman here. He's now in prison. And he, like I said, he had several offenses. But he in his mind, he feels as if he just needs probation and he can go home. Matt's whole time trying to tell him, look, you've done this several times. The best I can get you is 20 days in lockup. And by the way, this guy, I forget his name, but he's just being a jerk. He's making jokes. What'd you say?
No, I agree. He was.
Yeah. He's making jokes about Matt being blind. It's like he's just so entitled for somebody who committed the crime allegedly.
You're not lying though, because in the beginning when he said, "Oh, great, I got the blind lawyer," I'm like, you should be glad that you got a lawyer to begin with.
Sorry about that. Yeah, he should be glad that he got some kind of lawyer. But there was a line here that I thought was very interesting, right? Because he's saying that he didn't do it to Matt, and Matt is like, "Look, they got you on camera, bro. There's nothing much you can say, right?" And he said, "Oh, could it be a scroll?"
That was funny.
So
that was funny. He did say that, and I missed that. But yes, no, he did say that. But you know what's cool about that is it shows that, and I feel like we were talking about that in the first review that we did with the show, is about how connected these things are. So I like little like nugs right there, like a skull, or they mentioned Spider-Man without saying Spider-Man. So I thought that was dope.
No, it's interesting because this tells us that the public knows about scrolls, right? And the only show that so far mentioned the public knowing about these aliens has been Secret Invasions. Right. So in this, in the world of Daredevil, Secret Invasions happened, right? The president announced announced that scrolls are a thing, announced that they're a problem, and announced the war on the scrolls, essentially. So it makes me wonder,
where does it take place?
Far into this war on the scrolls.
You're talking about where does it take place at, right?
Yeah, exactly. How far removed are we from that? Like, how many years has it been? Did the war already take place? Are they still like?
Interesting.
Is he still president? That guy from Secret Invasions?
You see, it's interesting because I know for the Daredevil, this show is 7 years after the original series, and I'm trying to see where this still lines up with. Oh God, I don't even know because I placement wise I couldn't answer that, but I think it's still going on.
So in the world of Daredevil,
sure,
the president from Secret Invasions is still the president. Is that what you're saying? You think?
I believe so. I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so. I'm not strong on it, but I believe so.
I don't know. I don't know, because if that's the case, right,
Sure.
then we're completely removed from
Mhm.
Captain America: Brave New World, because we had what's the guy's president? You see what I'm
Oh,
saying?
Ross.
Yeah, Ross. So
So you're
would it
saying what is it? So this is before Brave New World, but it's saying where we're at, like how far removed, like how many years?
Yeah, I'm thinking the only way that I feel that this could maybe make sense in my head as far as a timeline, because Marvel's so weird with these timelines. I'm
Mhm.
thinking that this is way after Brave New World, and maybe the president that we see in Secret Invasions was the vice president to Ross. And when Ross, hulked out,
He took
he was
over.
president, and that's when we get into Secret Invasions, possibly.
You know, I'm confused about this. I'm sorry. I'm so bad with this timeline stuff. So I'm hearing everything you're saying, but then I'm trying to figure out like the stuff with not Sam. I'm sorry. Rhodey and how
Mhm.
all this and stuff. So that's why I'm throwing off. But if you guys in the chat can help us out here, because
Please.
we are stumped as hell. So please help us out here, because as you can tell, we're going here, and I feel like we've done everything. I feel like we've done that meme where the guys like this, just like.
Right. Let us know your timeline, your Marvel timeline theories. Because for me, I'm going
Mhm.
Brave the World, then Secret Invasions, then Daredevil Born Again. That's how I feel it's how
I
it
would say
looks.
if you're saying Daredevil and Secret Invasion, I feel like they're not that far apart. So it's almost like they're like this in the timeline, like they're touching like this. And I
Okay.
can't tell if that's like a year apart, a month apart, but I feel like they're not too far apart. It's just trying to figure out where you place Brave New World, I think.
All right. All right. But let's get into the next next couple scenes.
Yeah.
Matt, after saying to his client that, hey, I'm going to see what I can do, right? He goes over to this girl, and I don't know what her job is. I don't know if she's
Yeah,
a
she's like a lawyer or something. Like, I forget what she was doing, but yeah, she's in that lawyer field.
yeah, she's working in the courts, and she's pretty much telling him that, yo, this is what he's going to get. He's getting 35 days plus some, right? Matt was able, through some flirtations, to get her down to 10 effing days. And this is when I was thinking, hold on, Matt
Yeah.
got a whole woman at home, and he was being very flirtatious with this woman. Was he crossing the line a little bit for his client, or what do you think?
I gotta go with what Beyonce said. You can look at it as long as you don't grab it.
Oh, so he can say whatever. He can be a smooth
He
talker.
he was using his tools. Clearly, the blind stuff wasn't working for this woman. She didn't care. But when he
Uh-huh.
started to lay the mat down on him, the mat down, it
Mhm.
worked. And it got the guy to 10 days because he was doing everything. Look, should he do that? No, maybe it's not the right thing to do, especially when you have a woman at home. Totally agree with that. But he was trying to get this guy, because this guy kept asking for probation. He's like, I
Yeah.
can't do that. So he tried to find the best way to say, hey, look, the best I can get you, man, because I think they were getting ready to serve him 30, 60 days or something like that, right? Like they were getting ready to serve him some
It was
time. He's
over.
like, yeah, just take the 10 days, dude.
Okay. Well, I feel like if anything, she was being a little thirsty too. She was like, I'm looking for Mr. Right. Are you him? And he said, I'm Mr. Right for the probation or something. He said,
Good move.
uh, but yeah, luckily, Matt Murdock was able to convince her to get down to 10 days. He tells the client, still not satisfied. Still,
Mhm.
he goes into this monologue about
Yeah.
how the system hasn't really been working for him. And Matt starts to soften his opinion of his client there. After he leaves that little cell situation, we see he meets up with Officer Powell again. He's walking through the halls, and it's always on go. Whenever Matt and this man see each other, it's like it's on site all the time. I don't know what they got beef with each other for sure.
Mhm.
And they exchange words. Matt pretty much accuses him of offing Hector, aka White Tiger,
Yep.
and the police officer was like, "Hey, I don't know nothing about that." And Matt, of course, he has that
Get that
sense,
hearing.
yeah, where he can hear the heartbeat, and it sounded as if he was telling the truth. The police
You
officer,
got that too. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, is he also a part of this, vigilante group with this tattoo here. I thought that when they were in that fight scene, was this not his wrist? Was this not Officer Powell's wrist? Or are we saying that the killer, could it be Bullseye potentially? Like, could it be, because
I don't
Bullseye?
think so. I think the killer is going to end up being the guy that we see at the end.
Who?
Muse.
Muse? Oh, so you think Muse has a little Punisher T-shirt?
No, I don't think he went. I don't think he went to Five Below C and said, "Look, I'm a Punisher fan." No, I think it's something with him. I think a lot of stuff is meant to throw us off. I'm not
Okay.
I'm not so strong. I can't stay strong on it, but I just feel like this all leads to Muse. I think that I can't tell if that was his tat, but I do feel that because he was in the courtroom, right? Like I'm sorry, because I know these episodes just happened,
No,
but I don't know if I got watch you think that, but he was in the courtroom, right? And he was giving Matt a hard time, and I just felt like that's where their beef is coming from. So I don't remember if he was the one who he fought him. I know he beat up his men.
yeah, he fought him and Matt Murdock and Officer Powell fought in, I think that was like episode 2.
Okay,
Uh-huh. But we'll figure it out. I don't know who this masked killer is, but apparently it wasn't Officer Powell. Now we're back over to Mayor Fisk. He has this big plan for the city, aka what?
This is so freaking great. Oh, this is not it. I thought it was the one where you had him where all the kids were singing and everything. Because he looked yes! He looked traumatized. He looked traumatized when they were singing, "We built this city. We built this city." And he wanted to go.
Yeah, and it's so sad because these little kids are trying their best to belt out this song.
No, not really. That if that's trying, then ooh.
They were cute. They were cute. But right before that scene, we do see that he's in, I believe they call it Red Hook or Hook. I always want to say Red
You're right, Red Hook. You're right.
Yeah. And he has plans to, of course, what Daniel Loose Lips said earlier, to get rid of the trash and replace it with recycling. He has all of these big plans. Our girl Olivia Pope, that's not her real name, but I'm calling her Olivia Pope. She's reminding him that, hey, you're the mayor. There's red tape. There are avenues we have to go out to first.
Mm-hmm.
So we see that there's still that learning curve where Fisk is so used to just being the boss, and he has to like acclimate to, hey, this is the government, or not to say that they don't do what they want to do, but there's a little bit more red tape. You can't do as much as what she was doing before in the business, right? As they say.
In the business.
But as he was in the class with the little kiddies getting serenaded, news breaks by none other than BB with the headline, "Mayor Garbage, a union buster," because he's trying to replace the union trash collectors with this whole recycling thing going on in Red Hook. And I'm thinking, not to be anti-union or anything, because I'm not, but shouldn't we be recycling? Like,
you're supposed to be recycling. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, but the city, the people of the city are a little upset, particularly the trash collectors. And this is what BB has been reporting. Everyone's calling him a garbage mayor. And our girl Olivia Pope had to make things right. She's like, look, I was here before you, Daniel. I was here before Fisk, and I want to be here after y'all. So y'all need to start listening to me, because I know what I'm talking about. And good for her, because honestly, Fisk has been leaning very heavily on the knowledge of this damn like 27-year-old Daniel. And it's like, sir, he doesn't know what he's doing either. But when they tell Fisk, he's very upset about the article. He gets everyone, all of the people in the room. He's yelling at him, said he's going to find whoever leaked it. And Daniel steps up. He's like, hey, it was me. I'm sorry. Olivia Pope also stepped up as well, saying, hey,
will you stop making these people up with these shows? Jesus Christ.
He's like, hey, he's underneath. If he goes down, I'll take the blame for it. But this is when Daniel says to Fisk, I am loyal to you. And even if I'm not here, I will do whatever on the ground to support your mayorship. And that really spoke to Fisk. And it made me think, because I know you didn't watch The Penguin, unfortunately, because that's a fucking fantastic show. You need to watch it.
Oh, okay. Well done.
But there was a scene, a flashback when Penguin was young. and the head boss at the time was speaking to Penguin's mother, and he said something to her along the lines of, when you get someone young and loyal, that's what you really need. You need someone in search of a father figure, someone who will be loyal to you. That's like, chef's kiss. And that made me think of what Daniel was saying, because it was only the fact that he seemed so loyal and eager to assist Fisk. That's what saved him, because Fisk was, crushing.
When Fisk wiggles his fingers like this, even though he always does it, you're dead.
Yeah, he was wiggling to crush him in between the car doors.
Oh, you mean like how they've been saying this throughout this whole series, where he squished someone's head? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Fisk was very forgiving, right? Very, forgiving. We get over to Matt Murdock.
Not to interrupt you, but do you think that Fisk sees himself in this young lad?
See, I don't know, because Fisk never gave Daniel, in my opinion. Fisk never gave, I'm a tech guy, I'm a social media guy. I don't know if he sees him in him, but I feel as if Fisk is looking for a protege because of Echo, right? He lost that in Echo, so he could be potentially looking for someone to kind of show the ropes and show his ways. But I don't think it's because he sees himself in this character at all.
Maybe not see himself, all right, but so much. But I think because he never had that father figure, and he tries to take that mantle. I guess it's the same thing. I'm pretty much what you're saying. I just reworded, but yeah, almost like have someone underneath his.
Yeah, he wants to be a dad. He wants to be a dad. I feel like him and Vanessa need to go ahead and adopt or whatever, because he definitely has that. I want to be a daddy kind of vibe. Because he's already the daddy of the show, but he wants to be a real daddy now. I wanted to do this so bad. Okay, we'll do this after the next few scenes, but I know you would do this with me, so I'll ask you. But Murdock returns to the scene of the crime where Tiger was killed. He ended up, kind of uncovering the shell casing of the bullet, and for whatever reason, right? He starts walking. He starts climbing. He ends up in I don't even know what the heck it is. It's like some abandoned building, some area of the city that we don't know. And he meets up with none other than Frank Castle, our guy, right?
Baby.
Now, this was a great scene.
I agree.
Both of these actors know their characters very well. And they work so naturally and well together that it was just so interesting to watch them on screen together. Essentially what happened, Matt Murdock, Frank called him out. He's like, look, I know what happened to your friend Foggy. You can't even say his name. You're coming here for permission to be vengeful. And Matt Murdock kind of denied it, but it's clearly what he was coming to do, right? So my question to you is, what the F is Frank Castle doing in this abandoned place? What happened? It just seems so sad. Does Frank Castle never get a happy ending? The last I've seen of Frank Castle was in the second season of The Punisher, right? I didn't finish the full season. I was close to.
Okay.
I want a happy ending for Frank. He's had such a traumatizing, life.
I don't think he gets that. I don't think he's one of those superheroes that get that happy ending. He finds a new love and the white picket fence and all that stuff. I think his story is always going to be tragic. From some of the stuff that I've seen of Frank Castle. What has happened? I don't know what happened between that, because I never saw season 2 to even give an idea. I do want to give a shout out to the actor who plays him. It's John. I can't pronounce his last name though. But he was ready not to do this role because the way they written the Punisher before, because they did a lot of rewrites.
Okay.
And thank God this one was really good, because it's really great to see him back as the Punisher. I just can't see anyone taking that role. What happened to him? I think one day stuff caught up. I mean, honestly though, Frank was always kind of living like that. If I remember season 1, he never had a house or an apartment. He was seeming like he was always having this we call it trap house, right? But he always had this place where he could leave his guns in places, and it was his secret location. I don't think he always had a hub, if I'm correct.
But it's just depressing to see that there's been no progression in his life. He's still mentally in this state of, I've lost my family and there's nothing for me but to be vengeful. So
But
it is his character, but it's for me as someone who very much loved Frank Castle.
right, you want
I
the best for him.
but he can't. That's not for him. But so now the question is, this is something that I wanted to ask. That we were originally supposed to have another, not only just Vic, who is running behind, but we're going to have a guest host who's a lady. So I said, let me ask this for the ladies. But Jack, I know you're in touch with your feminine side, so I'll go ahead and ask you this question.
I wanted a towel on my head.
So we're playing a game of F, Marry, Kill. We got Fisk,
Ooh.
we got Frank, and we got Matt.
Okay.
So who are you
Mhm.
effing? Fisk, Frank, or Matt?
Who am I effing it? Well, this is kind of tough because like I kind of like the bad boys, and so
Okay, so
between
you can answer it all together. Who are you effing? Who are you marrying? And who are you offing?
offing, like killing.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not supposed to say that. Oops. Jesus. I would totally. Oh yeah, I would totally Fisk. I would marry. Yeah, I would totally like he. Yeah. Oh, he got the goods.
Okay.
I would marry. I gotta marry Matt. And look, I'm married. Look, the way he was cutting the food knife and boom. I mean, and look, Frank would just be too depressing for me.
So you're offing Frank?
I mean, to the best of my ability, I think Frank is going to kill me first. But like, I'll be honest.
Okay, very interesting ranking. Very interesting ranking. Okay, for me,
Here we go.
effing Frank. I'm effing Frank. He looked like he can put it down like he a bedroom bully. I'm going after Frank for the F, and no question about it. Effing Frank. I'm marrying Fisk. That man loves his wife. He's a loyal man. He'll go above and beyond for his woman. I already told you Fisk is the daddy of the show. I'm marrying Fisk. Literally, no questions about it. And unfortunately, that means I gotta, off Matt.
Yes.
He's gotta go. Sorry. See you later.
And once again, too, this is all good luck when we're talking about offing these two individuals because Matt threw someone off a roof.
That's true. That's true. That's true. But my man Fisk is gonna make sure I don't get hung. He's
I'm not surprised by that, honestly, because you've been saying for the longest time that very thing. Fisk is the daddy.
Fisk is the daddy. But
what is it, the figure of Winkles?
But following this fantastic scene with Frank, Matt gets a little emboldened to go into his little Daredevil closet.
How did you feel about those? How do you feel like they showed all those masks?
Oh, the cows?
Yeah, cows. Yes.
I'm like, I didn't know he had so many yellow ones. I thought he had one yellow one, but looked like he had a couple of those.
Oh no, that one is black. That's a black, red, and yellow.
Are you sure? It looked like a black, a yellow, a red, and another yellow to me. Is that black?
That's black. Well, I'm going based on what the comics. So there is a black one, the black suit that he wears, and the red, obviously the one that he does, and the yellow is supposed to be a callback to. I want to say when he first appeared and stuff like that. But that one looked a lot more. I don't know why, but that one looked a lot more clean than the one that they put in She-Hulk.
Yeah, They got. I don't know. Put a little more money into this. I don't know. Maybe they didn't have to spend it all on the CGI, possibly.
They tried a little bit more on this show.
Yeah. But not only did Matt feel a little more emboldened to indulge in certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Our boy, my husband Fisk, he went to the indulgence dungeon where he's eating like a fat man now. All of a sudden, right before he was eating omelets, egg white omelets.
Yeah.
Now he's over here drinking red wine and sausage pasta, and not only that, he's indulging in the torture of Adam, aka Vanessa's jump off.
The situation.
Yeah, the entanglements.
Adam entanglement.
So, what did you think of this scene here?
Oh, Fisk was looking like such a boss here. It's all hilarious. Like I love that he has like this chamber still. Like he's the mayor, but he's still kingpin at heart. Mm-hmm. And I mean, how long has Adam been in this cage? Is my question. Okay, fair enough. But seeing them just like, and that's torture enough. Where you're in a cage. There's so many different levels of torture, right? But for me, that's major torture. Where someone's eating food in front of me, and you haven't eaten in God knows how many days.
Right.
So he's already lost his mind because he's like, "Yo, I'm sorry, Fisk."
Please, of course. Oh, that was so. I feel so bad for him because he probably didn't even know that was Fisk's woman when he was banging her out, when he was, pushing her through the mattress.
I don't think Adam don't look much of like a pusher. It looked like he does minor damage, but carry on.
It always be the ones that you never suspect. He was doing damage in the bedroom, I'm sure. But
Not with that Creed haircut. Wide open, was it wide arms open?
No, that's man.
But I listen to some Creed tonight now.
The very end of the episode, we are flashed over to Muse. He's in the process of, getting rid of a victim. He's taking his blood out to create his next masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
And this made me think of a question, and I want to ask you.
Okay.
What is the likelihood that Heather survives this season? Because between her working with Fisk, not only Fisk, but Vanessa got a little blood on her hands too. She got a little blood on her hands. And her kind of being in the eyesight of who we suspect Muse to be, which is that young boy from episode 2 that came up.
1 or 2,
yeah. What do you think is the likelihood of her actually surviving this season?
I'm gonna go with she doesn't die, but her and Matt don't last.
Okay. I think she dies. I think she's too surrounded by the evil in Hell's Kitchen. I think that if it's not Muse, it's going to be Vanessa, Ali. I feel like Vanessa may kill her or have her killed. Vanessa's about that action. I think so. And maybe if Heather finds out a little too much during these sessions, I feel like Vanessa would have her offed. And plus, with Matt Murdock, he's like, with James Bond, there's always a new Bond girl. And I feel like there's always a new girl for Matt Murdock. And they're not going to keep her around, I don't think. I think she's going to die.
I don't think she's just going to last. I don't think she's going to die. I think she's going to have like the same... I'm sorry, what was Rossio Dawson? I felt like I butchered her name totally. Heather, it was Claire and whatnot. Hi. I don't think she dies. I think she just does. She just doesn't make. Her and Matt don't make it. I think at the end game is always going to be him, and God, I'm blanking it, Karen.
Okay.
I'm gonna still stick by she doesn't die.
All right.
I think she's nice.
Shout out to Slice of Horror if you guys are watching the channel. She was here with us last week to discuss Daredevil. And how's it going, Christopher Dog? And thanks for being here. I liked the episode as well. That was the episode, guys.
Real quick, I remember listening to an interview with the characters Matt and Fisk, and they said around episode 5, 6 or so stuff picks up. So I'm interested on what they mean by that. I forget how they worded it, but it was almost like it's going to be a little bit more violent. And this Muse character, who I am not familiar with, I'm going to be watching a origin story about him because I have no idea who this guy is. He's not. They say pretty much he's not kid friendly, which I like to hear because Daredevil should not be kid friendly. Give me blood.
Yeah, I honestly I was surprised that Frank showed up this episode. I was assuming that he would show up on episode like 5, 6. But I'm hoping to see more Frank. I would be here for this, like the action to be picked up a little bit. So I'm excited for that, possibly next episode or the episode after. What you say?
I'm sorry. I said, we're getting that. I mean, freaking Matt was on the roof training. He wasn't doing that he wasn't auditioning for Cobra Kai.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Please join us every week around this time. Every Wednesday, we discuss the latest episode of Daredevil. And subscribe to our channels, Unpopular Review Entertainment and See the Superior. And we will see you guys next time. Goodbye.